Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tree of Life on March 28th, 2021. Here are our announcements for today. A reminder that Reverend Jen will be on parental leave until April 25th. While she will be available for major pastoral emergencies, we ask that you reach out to the board, care committee, or the office for other issues during that time to allow Reverend Jen and Virginia to bond with baby Grayson. And there will be more on baby Grayson during Joys and Concerns today. Today's Inquirer session for newcomers is Membership 101 in Congregational Life. The session will begin at 12:15 p.m. using the same link as this service. Whether you are attending for the first time today or you've been attending for a while, we invite you to get to know us. The session will end no later than 1:15 p.m. Inquirers is the main pathway to becoming a member of Tree of Life. So, if you think you may want to become a member, give these sessions a try. Yoga with Cynthia Allen has returned to Tree of Life Monday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:15. This 5-session series teaches yoga poses and flow built around the teachings called niyamas. The sessions require mobility such that one can get up and down from standing to sitting poses and will end with time for a 5-minute meditation. Information is posted in Bree's events and on our website. What is the Happenings? It's our weekly news e-letter. Each week it tells you everything you need to know about upcoming services and events. It is the place for learning about social justice actions and community service opportunities. If you're not getting the Happenings, you can sign up for it using a visitor card posted in the chat or on our website under the News tab. Women's Book Club will be discussing The System, Who Rigged It, and How We Fix It by Robert B. Reich, Friday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. Information is in the Happenings, on the church website, and Breeze. And now we have an announcement from Tom Steffens on behalf of the Pledge team.
Well, good morning, everyone. Over the last year, during the worst pandemic in over 100 years, members and friends of Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist Congregation have worked together to sustain the flame that has been glowing strong since 1855. Together, we found a quality interim minister. Together, we developed a new way to approach our Sunday worship services. Together, we revamped our youth and adult religious education and music programs. Together, we found ways to care for the sick and feed the hungry. All of this was made possible because together, we cherish the flame. Over the past few weeks, we hope our pledge campaign has reignited your passion for the work and life of our church. Through storytelling videos and letters from Reverend Jen, we have described our 4 core areas of ministry: caring and connecting, educating, community outreach, and later in today's service, you will see a video about worshiping a Tree of Life. If you haven't already, you will be receiving the pledge packet in the mail. Included in that packet is this essential pledging guide. Now this year, instead of using the standard UUA pledging guideline, we are asking everyone to look at this guide, find what category you pledged in last year, and make every effort to increase your pledge for 21-22 to the next level. For instance, if you pledged $2,250 last year, we are asking you to increase your pledge to $2,501. If this is as successful as we would like it to be, we will reach our goal of $226,000. For those of you who are new to pledging a Tree of Life, your packet will be slightly different, but will have the same information you need to start your financial support at Tree of Life. The campaign starts today. Please take a look at all the enclosed documents in your packet, then fill out the enclosed pledge form and return it in the self-addressed stamped envelope. This is just a 2-week campaign, so please return your pledge form by April 11th. If you would prefer to make your pledge online, Judy will be sending you an online pledge form tomorrow afternoon, so please check your email. The pledge team will be providing periodic updates on the campaign's progress. Please check Facebook and the happenings for these updates. My friends, thank you so much for supporting Tree of Life. So together, we can sustain the flame that has been glowing strong for over 150 years. Together, we cherish the flame. Please pledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. And great big thanks to you and the pledge team for taking on this important work. As you noticed today, folks, we are running a little slow on our slides. So the slides will come up, but just be patient. We will get to them all. Finally, we want to get to know you and answer your questions. If you're new to Tree of Life, we hope you will fill out the visitor online card that will be posted in the chat. Feel free to introduce yourself during joys and concerns, and we invite you to join us for coffee hour breakouts after the service. We are a friendly bunch and welcome a chance to get to know you. We especially invite you to attend Inquirers today, which begins at 12:15 using the same Zoom link. We welcome all who have joined us this morning, and so begin our service. Well, good morning once again. Welcome to Tree of Life Unitarian Universalist Congregation online service. My name is George Kazlusky, known as Kaz to just about everyone, and I'm your worship leader this morning. Our speaker this morning is the Reverend Gina Swinney. Gina is a longtime friend of Tree of Life and has graced our pulpit many times in the last several years. Her topic this morning is a commitment to commitment. Gina will begin our service with a call to worship.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you again. And here is our call to worship for the morning. It's where we commit to discover how to live among the ruins by Reverend Karen G. Johnston. Let us gather together, making a place of honesty, where we commit to discover how to live among the ruins, how we might move among the ruins and find what can be saved. With our collective liberation to each of our hearts, let us gather up those materials we need to build and rebuild a beloved community in our midst. In gathering this morning, may we be strengthened for what lies ahead.
Thank you, Gina. Our theme for the month of March is commitment. Lighting our chalice this morning will be Jane Richards. Jane?
Good morning. The reading I have today is by Adrian Graham from the First Unitarian Church of Baltimore. We kindle a flame of power, illuminating the holy in each of our faces. We recognize in the flame a passionate commitment to our shared faith. We are held and carried from day to day, week to week, in the shining of the light. This flame is mine as well as yours. We are brought together on this day, called to growth, to expansion within its glow. What does your heart know while beholding this holy fire?
Thank you, Jane. Now, please join us in recalling our purpose. We journey as a family towards spiritual growth, freedom in faith, celebration of diversity, commitment to action, devotion to each other, the community, and the earth. Today, our story for all ages is the story of the Passover Seder, and it will be presented by Heather Medalis and Avery.
This is a story of the first night of Passover. This night is different from all other nights. There are 8 nights in Passover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On Passover, Jewish people have a special dinner celebration called the Seder. Jewish people celebrate Passover to remember when Moses led the Hebrew people out of slavery in Egypt across the Red Sea to a new land where they were free again. During Seder, the family eats and sings songs. Each place at the table is set with a wine goblet and a special booklet called a Haggadah. It is read at the Seder. It tells the story of Passover. A special place at the table is also set with a goblet full of wine for Elijah the prophet. It is thought that Elijah comes to visit each Jewish home on the first night of Passover. The youngest child at the table asks the 4 questions about the meaning of Passover. After each of the 4 questions are read, the head of the household reads the same answer from the Haggadah. Because we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people.
Why is this night different from all the other nights?
Because we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people.
Why on all other nights we eat all kinds of bread, and on this night we eat only matzah?
Because we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people.
Why is food dipped in salt water?
Because we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people.
Why do we eat bitter herbs?
Because we were slaves in Egypt, and now we are a free people. And then the Seder meal begins. There are special foods for the Seder. Matzos, a flatbread like a big saltine cracker. It has no leavening to make it rise. In memory of how quickly the Hebrews had to pack up and leave their homes in order to be safe from the Egyptians. They didn't even have time to let the bread rise. Bitter herbs, a reminder of the bitterness of slavery. Cheroset, it is the color of bricks the Hebrew slaves used to build the pyramids. Roasted lamb bone reminds people of the lamb sacrificed to the gods in Egypt. Egg, parsley, and salt water for dipping. Tears that were shed as slaves. During the Seder, the family also sings songs. The Jewish people celebrate Passover to remember when Moses led the Hebrew people out of slavery in Egypt and to a new land where they were free again. As the Seder comes to an end, people eat the last piece of matzah, called the afikomen, and they thank God for the very special gift of freedom.
Thank you, Heather and Avery, for a delightful and informative story. And now with some special music, our own accompanist, Billy Seeger. Billy will be performing a Cyndi Lauper classic, Time After Time.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights almost left behind. Suitcase of memories, time after. Sometimes you picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, I can't hear what you said. You say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. Time after my picture fades and the darkness has turned to gray. Watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. You say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
Thank you, Billy. And now we welcome the Reverend Gina Swinney to our online pulpit.
Well, thank you, Kaz, and thank you, Billy. That was fabulous, fabulous. So I was reminiscing the other day about our first microwave oven. You know, microwave technology grew out of the scientific advancements during World War II. But the first Amana countertop model hit the market in 1967. And by 1970, they were affordable for the average American home. And I think that's about the time we got ours. Ironically, what took 25 years to perfect for home use could cook food in an instant. Our family got one as a Christmas present, and once opened, we all gathered in the kitchen to watch it work. We pulled leftovers from the refrigerator. Notice I didn't say icebox, I'm not that old. And we marveled at how quickly they reheated. Gone were the days of heating up the stove to put the leftover meatloaf in 30 minutes before supper. Now we had time for, well, everything. And next we wanted to try toasting a piece of bread, which resulted in a rubbery disappointment. Apparently the microwave wasn't going to replace all of the cooking appliances in the kitchen. I know, someone said, let's see how fast it can cook a hard-boiled egg. Epic failure. The beginning of the age of technology. The other thing that became popular post-World War II is the fast food restaurant. The 1950s brought us Jack in the Box, KFC, Sonic, Denny's, and of course, McDonald's. Since many of the women worked outside the home during the war and came to enjoy the personal and financial benefits of that, they continued to work after the war ended. Quick serve restaurants arrived on the scene just in time to provide meals to busy families. All one had to do was wait a few minutes and presto, hamburgers or fried chicken, complete with some form of potato, was ready with virtually no fuss or cleanup. It would be a few years before the nation started counting saturated fat grams or salt intake. I can't help but wonder if these two inventions somehow created the foundation of today's instant gratification society. We really do want what we want when we want it, and with as little effort on our parts as possible. It's kind of ironic when you consider that the most prevalent American employment prior to 1945 required hard work and patience. Most of our ancestors were accustomed to working in an agrarian society. For generations, they worked farms without any modern conveniences. They trusted that in a day of hard work in the spring, it would result in a plentiful harvest in the fall. They understood the importance of allowing nature to work its magic. Our farmer ancestors who planted a field didn't put a seed into the ground on one day and expect a full-grown crop the next. If nature provides enough rain and sunshine, the farmer will tend the crop by pulling out weeds and adding fertilizer. By working together and understanding the process, a crop will yield food. Similarly, when a woman becomes pregnant and she is in her first trimester of pregnancy, she doesn't insist that the baby be born tomorrow. She doesn't wake up every morning worried that the child hasn't arrived, because she is committed to the fact that having a baby is a process that doesn't adhere to the rules of a microwave society. Yet when we think about the major commitments we make in our lives, all too often, we forget that things take time. The Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes data related to the number of workers who quit their jobs. Prior to the pandemic, in August of 2019, America hit the highest rate of non-farmers who quit their jobs since the Bureau started recording data. Bamboo HR completed a study that surveyed employees who were leaving their jobs. In exit surveys, when asked why they were quitting, the responses were, 1, I changed my mind on the type of work I wanted, which might also translate to I picked the wrong major in college. 2, it was different work than I expected. It usually is. 3, I didn't get enough training. You seldom do. 4, it wasn't fun. And I don't know what to say about that one. And 5, the boss was a jerk. Well, I've been on both ends of that string. Intriguingly, 43% of the employees who left their job were in an entry-level position. Almost half of the people who left their jobs were in an entry-level position. And in many companies, that translates to them leaving after a year or two. Beginning any new job consists of learning the stated job description, but there is also the unstated job description that has to be followed. The day-to-day rules of the road, which can be as simple as where do I eat lunch, or as complex as who are the real power brokers in the office. And in my experience, the real power brokers were usually either the secretary or the custodian. It takes a while to feel comfortable in a new job. It takes a while to feel a sense of belonging in a new place. It takes time to settle into anything new. In my own work experience, when I went to work in a school's district central office and missed being in a building with all of the students and teachers, I was ready to quit. I was ready to quit in the first few months. Thankfully, I had a wonderful mentor who walked into my office and wrote a huge 2 on my whiteboard. When I asked him what that meant, he said, "Don't ever quit a job until you've been doing it for 2 years." I kept that 2 on my board for a long time. I kept it as a reminder when I was feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. I kept it until I was comfortable enough to erase it. But the truth is, that 2 stayed on my board for a long time. Commitment takes time. You have to make a commitment to commitment. Perhaps there is no place where that is truer than in the commitment we make to a romantic partner. Those long-term commitments to another person require an adjustment period. Because we all bring a bunch of expectations to the table, it takes time to settle in. Each partner grew up in a family. They learned what a married or partnering commitment looks like by watching their parents. Our greater society also sends messages about romantic relationships through the mediums of film, music, art, and literature. We are seldom ready for the various changes in day-to-day life and love. And as Leo Buscaglia said, a relationship may have been made in heaven, but it has to be lived on earth. If we unpack the concept of commitment, we find that one of the first and most important steps is to fully accept your decision. You must buy in to whatever it is you're making a commitment to. Really wanting something or someone helps provide the stamina needed to see it through. It's important to know what you want in the short term as well as the long term. This church, Tree of Life, understands commitment. It's one of the things that I admire most about y'all. You continually make commitments to service and the fight against injustice. Your members have buy-in. When you commit to something, you know your long and short-term goals, and you never appear to grow tired. Through shared vision and work, you develop relationships with each other and with the causes you serve. When you have all of this, you develop a feeling of belonging, and your lives have meaning. But much of what I've just described about your congregation can also be found in many service organizations. Kiwanis, Rotary, Habitat for Humanity, food pantries, Big Brother, Big Sister, CASA, and many more are committed to making a difference in the lives of others. So what makes a church organization different from a community organization? Perhaps it is a sense of a higher purpose. The idea that at some level, we understand that we are all connected. We are all part that put together make us one. The Bible puts it this way in 1 Corinthians. As it is, there are many parts, but one body. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, and if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? The point of the parable, we are not whole, we are not complete until we recognize the importance of joining together as one. And in joining together, it is important to embrace different perspectives, as illustrated in the blind men and the elephant parable. When a group of blind men are introduced to an animal they've never encountered before, an elephant, they proceed to touch and define the animal from their perspectives. This parable highlights the fact that one person's subjective experience can be true, but sometimes it isn't the full truth. Until the blind men pull together their findings, they are unable to get the full picture. They need each other's part to understand the whole. When we come together in this world, we begin to have an understanding of our higher purpose. We begin to form our understanding of God. Some in our society have come to expect our God of choice to be the fast food server in our lives. One who answers prayers in the time it takes to pull our car around to the drive-up window. One who hears our order and fills it without error. Sometimes prayer works that way, but often it does not. Having a mature faith requires the commitment and stamina of a marathon runner. It requires endurance over a lifetime. I remember a line from Fiddler on the Roof, where the people of Anatevka are being forced into exile. And Model says to the rabbi, "Rabbi, we've been waiting for the Messiah all our lives. Wouldn't now be a good time for him to come?" And the rabbi replies, "Well, I guess we'll just have to wait somewhere else." I'd like to end today with a quote from author Rollo May titled, "The Courage to Create." The acorn becomes an oak by means of automatic growth. No commitment is necessary. The kitten similarly becomes a cat on the basis of instinct. Nature and being are identical in creatures like them. But a man or woman becomes fully human only by his or her choices and his or her commitment to those choices. People attain worth and dignity by the multitude of decisions they make from day to day. These decisions require courage. May you find the courage to create and find the stamina to see your commitments bear fruit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Gina, for reminding us about the work and joys of commitment. Each week, we take an offering that supports the work of this congregation in our lives, in our communities, and in the world. Today and in the weeks to come, you may make your offering in one of three ways, which are listed on your screen. Text to give at 815-332-0643, giving online at the Tree of Life UU Breeze address, or mailing a check to our building at 5603 Bull Valley Road, McHenry, Illinois, 60050. During this time of uncertainty, your generosity to Tree of Life is more important than ever. And as always, we give thanks for these gifts and for all the gifts you bring. And now, here is a presentation from our pledge team and Tom Steffens.
During our annual pledge campaign, we take time to focus attention on our church's 4 core areas of ministry and consider how important each is in our life. Caring and connecting, educating, community outreach, and today we focus on worshiping.
Our worship services are weekly reflections that weave together our own thoughts and experiences with music, beauty, poetry, and words that both comfort and challenge. Our programs for all ages inspire us and awaken us to our capacities to make a difference in our own lives and in the world. We are inspired not just by our religious sources, but by the people with whom we journey, the diverse and spirited Unitarian Universalists.
The 7 UU principles provide a foundation for the faith journey for our youth and adults alike. In a welcoming and engaging environment, we learn from world religions, earth-centered traditions, humanist teachings, our direct experience of mystery, wonder, spirit, and more.
Please pledge March 28th through April 11th. Thank you.
And thank you, Pledge Committee. You've done a masterful job this month with the 4 pillars of our church. Sharing our joys and concerns is a sacred moment in our worship where we open our hearts to receive and embrace each other's lives. If there is something new in your personal life, an event or a situation of joy or challenge that touches you, please feel invited to share this to help our community grow in connection. All announcements will appear in our newsletter unless there is a request to be withheld. If you do have something to share, go to the bottom of the screen and click on the reactions tab at the bottom, and then click the raise your hand tab. I will then call on you and you can unmute yourself. And we're going to start with Gina since you have your hand raised. Gina, do you have anything that you want to say in addition? You need to unmute, Gina. Okay, there you go.
Yes, thank you. Continued prayers for the people who are ravaged by the coronavirus, who have yet to, find healing, and the loss, just the entire situation, the people who have worked tirelessly for vaccines, and just everybody who's given so much of themselves to try to eradicate that disease.
Thank you, Gina. We need reminders every day of that. Okay, I see a baby, and I'm gonna call on the person holding the baby. All right.
We have a joy to share. We had a big event. This is Adalee Fern Grayson, and she was born on the 25th at 8:14 p.m.
Hey.
And Virginia is doing very well. So we just wanted you to meet her.
Well, your life will never be the same as you've been told, but it will be better. Congratulations, Jen and Virginia. Okay, Lisa and Till. Unmute. There you go.
Yeah, so I wanted to share. We now have a bird, and her name is Siv, spelled S-I-V. I can take her out.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Come on.
Yay.
Well,
Yeah.
Siv, you are pretty cool.
how does your dog like him? Her?
He doesn't even care.
Good.
He just like walks right by.
Oh.
So exciting, Till. Congratulations. Heather Medallis. And unmute, Heather. There we go.
Hello, I get to follow 2 baby announcements. Oh my. I also have a joy. As many of you know, my husband has been fighting brain cancer for the last year. He had his 1-year checkup on Monday, and the doctor has said he's officially cancer-free. All of his treatments are done. They were successful, and he is officially in remission. So we're really looking forward to a year without the health challenges. I think that we felt all your healing and your healthy prayers and all of your happy thoughts. He really came through this process with flying colors. Physically, he's just amazing. So thank you all for your energy.
Congratulations, Heather. And congratulations to Jason. Give him a hug. Laura Cantelli.
So I have a joy and a concern. My joy is that I got my vaccine yesterday, my first one. And, you know, the waiting list here is like forever. I'm on 4 lists and not even close to the top of any of them. But I was happy that one of the local pharmacies was overwhelmed with calls. So they teamed up with the Odd Fellows Society, and they opened up their facility to take larger groups of people in to get vaccinated. And I was able to get a vaccination the same day I signed up for it. So I was thrilled about that. My concern, it's for the people of Boulder. You know, I can't even wrap my head around the amount of hate it would take for somebody to just come in and just shoot up a place when people are in there doing their grocery shopping. So I just can't get over that. But, you know, prayers for the people here for their healing. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Prayers for them from us. I'm looking down the list. Anybody else with a joy or concern? Doesn't appear to be. We will now honor all those unexpressed joys and concerns that remain on our hearts for the space of 3 cleansing breaths. Now let's join in our centering with Gina Swinney.
There are so many places in our world where we experience lack. There is lack of leadership, food, adequate housing, love, empathy, and sometimes a seeming lack of commitment to eradicate any or all of these things. May we find the place where we best fit, the place where we can best be a servant to each other and to the values we hold close, to those things that are important to our individual and collective points of view. May we find the place where we joyfully raise our hands and hearts to say, "Here I am." Help us usher in a time when lack will be replaced by abundance. An abundance of peace, prosperity, joy, health, and love. And let us gift those things to others along the way. Let us go about our lives and our week and our days, knowing that each of us is a gift, and that wherever we go, we bring light to the darkness.
Thank you, Gina. Now let's sing together as Billy Seeger plays hymn number 124, Be That Guide. The words will appear on the screen.
Sustains, rise above the daily strife, lift on high the good you find, help to heal the hurts of life. Be that helper nothing daunts, doubt a friend or taunt a foe, ever strive for liberty, show the path that life should go. Be that builder trusting good, bitter though the test may be, through all ages they are right, though they build in agony. Teacher faith directs, move beyond the old frontier, though the fright and fear that faith be tomorrow's pioneer.
Thank you, Billy. Now, please join in reading our closing words. Be ours a religion, which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living. I'll now extinguish our chalice. If you have a chalice or flame at home, you can do the same. We extinguish this flame of communal worship and now carry its light within us. We share this light. We carry its warmth to all whom we meet. And with the blessing, Reverend Gina.
Blessing today comes from Reverend Scott Taylor, titled Faithfully Let Us Travel into the New Day. In the end, they will know our commitments by our actions. They will measure our legacy by our loyalty to the long haul. Our strength lies in the willingness to bear the burdens of others. Our love lives on to the degree we choose to offer it when the offering isn't easy. So let us choose wisely, with great intention and care, knowing it is not simply we who make promises, but our promises also make us. So faithfully, friends, let us travel into the new day. Thank you for inviting me to be among you again. It's always a pleasure and an honor. Go in peace, and may you find joy in your journey.